Jim, thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you, Jamie.
Well, we've heard about sanctions before, and we've even had several sets of sanctions. What is different about the sanctions that are being discussed now than we've had previously? And we know that Russia and China are key to have on board. We even had them the last go-around. Still, Iran continues to, it is believed, produce all the elements they need for a nuclear weapon.
Well, the focus here, the talk now is about smart sanctions, and what they mean by that is targeted at the elites, at the decision makers. And the reason why you would want to do that, and of course this is understandable, is you have all this division within Iranian society. A lot of people in Iran are upset with their government, and you don't want to impose sanctions that turn around and impose penalties on those people. It would be better to have the penalties imposed on the government itself. The problem, of course, is that a lot of these folks, particularly in the nuclear program, clerics and others, they do not travel outside of the United States. They get their income from the Iranian state. So it's very hard if they're wrapped around and cuddled by the Iranian government to sort of reach it and target them in particular. But what Secretary of State is trying to do is avoid punishing the average Iranian citizen.
How do you do that, Jim? Because they're talking about freezing some of the assets, and we know that if they're talking about just the ruling elite or the elite itself, there's a real possibility that the people who could be hurt the most are the people, including those that we've seen out in the streets, who are trying to protest the government.
I hear you, Jamie, and you know, we've talked about this many times. I tend to be a skeptic about sanctions. They're one arrow in the quiver. They can be helpful, but they're not a magic wand that's going to miraculously change the situation. They can put some pressure on, but at the end of the day, it's going to be negotiation that resolves this issue if it gets resolved. The sanctions are helpful, but they're not going to dramatically change the situation now, 6 months from now, you know, further down the road.
All right, we've had some breaking news, including the latest on this, so I have to leave it there. But as for the hikers, the word is they are going to be brought to trial. We don't know when. We'll talk about that next time. Thanks so much for being with us, Jim Walsh. Great to talk to you.
Good to see you.
I want to get you over to FoxNews.com's Diane Macedo with some stuff you can look at during the break on FoxNews.com. Hey, Diane.
Hey, Trey. So in our top spot right now, we have some new info on the fallout over racial comments.